With 4 events left on the line and 2 of them a sprint-style workout, there's still plenty of time for those leaderboards and the podium to shake up. Let's go check out how the athletes performed.
Speaking of speed, the day kicked off with Fast Like an Oryx, an interval-style event with shuttle runs, burpee box clears, and max dumbbell thrusters. Heat 2 for the ladies had Lena Richter leading after round 1, with Mignon Agonese close behind. At the start of the second interval, Emily Rolfe was the first to the box jump overs, but Richter's speed was just fast enough to move her ahead at the dumbbell thrusters. But the deeper into the workout the ladies got, the closer the gap became. Going back to the previous heat, Claudia Gluck had made it through 40 reps of the dumbbell thrusters by the end of the third interval, something no other athlete was able to do. With that in mind, Richter was sprinting at that last interval to get to the dumbbells, and it was going to be close as Richter won her heat, but Gluck ultimately took home the event win, edging out Richter by just 1 rep. Let's now jump to men's heat 2. Well, Luka Vunjak set the score to beat, getting 16 thrusters at the lightest weight, the most we've seen across men and women. This heat was tight with the top men. Interval 1, Con Porter was leading the way with Yonakoski close behind. As the intervals continued, Alex Gotoulis pulled ahead on the shuttle runs using a little jump over the line technique. Things then got interesting and was pure chaos in those last few seconds of the dumbbell thrusters as Enioli Kai and Fabian Benito pulled ahead. It looked to us as if Ikai had won, and he thought so too, as he set his dumbbells down a few seconds early to celebrate, but it was actually his training partner, Fabian Benito, who took home the event win, beating him by just 1 thruster.
So tired because a hard workout. I don't know I win, but I push a lot.
Second event of the day, heavy-handed. Heavy double unders, sandbag carry, chest to bars, then back to the sandbag and double unders. There wasn't much separation with these athletes on the dubs. The field started to disperse once they got to those sandbag carries, and it was Jamie Simmons first to jump up for those chest to bars. But then it looked like a synchro partner workout for Matilda Garnes and Emily Rolfe as they went rep for rep all the way to a photo finish.
The chest bar wasn't too bad and it wasn't grippy, but when you was going to put the sandbag in your hands, it was so grippy in my underarms. But it was just to hold on, try to walk. The plan was to run with the bag. Well, that was a bad plan.
As Heat 1 for the men took the field, so did Mignon Agonese. If you missed it in the previous women's heat, her jump rope handles fell off, so the competition let her go again. She held her own, staying ahead of half the men's field and took 5th overall in the event. But then, if you had any doubts about Fabian Benito, they were put to rest after this one when he earned his 2nd straight event win. This time, no confusion across that finish line, being 7 seconds ahead of 2nd place Brent Fikowski. Let's bring the barbells back out for Barbell Furious. 10 cleans, 10 front squats, 10 shoulder to overhead. Time to keep her moving. Speaking of athletes you might want to take a little more notice to, Karine Frey. It was no surprise we'd be keeping our eye on her on another barbell workout after making yesterday's hang clean ladder look much too easy, winning that event. She got to the shoulder to overhead in less than a minute, then went unbroken to secure another event win. And if we're talking about predicting the winner of this one, we'll look to the hang clean ladder again at Reggie Fossa. He went crazy fast through the cleans and front squats, but when he got to the shoulder to overhead, he failed the first rep. Then he took a significant break, which looked like it might have cost him, but he was still able to win the event by 5 seconds.
Came out a bit too hot on the first, the front squats and going into the jerk, and that was the heaviest first jerk I've ever done in my life. Bloody hell, my back was like a slinky standing the last front squat up. Failed the jerk, he's like a no rep, he's like, I know that's a no rep, mate. And then had a bit of a rest, strapped up, tightened my belt, the tightest it's ever been, and then managed to go unbroken for the last 10 shoulder overhead.
One more to go. Athletes now reseated for the finale. DFC's infamous devil press has returned, walking with the devil. It started with handstand walks, ring muscle ups, devil press, and ended with a spicy double dumbbell overhead walking lunge. For the women, Karine Frey doesn't officially have it in the bag, but it would take a serious error on her part to not lock in the crown. As for the men, Benito and Fikowski were tied for points. And let me tell you, that was a showdown you didn't want to miss. For those ring muscle ups, athletes had risers if they were too high, but Valentina Magalotti had a special riser, Matt Frazier. In the women's final heat, Garnes, Gluck, Simmons and Agonese were leading into the muscle-ups, but once Garnes got off the ring significantly earlier than the other ladies, it was a straight shot to an event win for her. And then in the men's final heat, it was the showdown that we were all waiting for. Moritz Fiebig ultimately won the event, but Fikowski and Benito further down the leaderboard had an incredible race to that finish line. By the time the two were at the overhead walking lunges, it was anyone's game. Benito dropped the dumbbells. Fikowski dropped the dumbbells. Fikowski pulled ahead, and you thought that he had it in the bag, but on the last step, his dumbbell came down before his foot crossed the finish line, costing him an expensive no rep, and then Benito got over the line and landed right where he needed to.
Imposible esto. Necesitaba esto. La verdad que mi vida es muy dura y gracias.
Your top 10 on the men, Benito and Fiebig actually tied in points, but Benito had more event wins, earning him that top spot. Fikowski with still a respectable third-place finish, especially after winning Elfit just a few weeks prior. Luka Jukic staying in the top 10, earning him a 7th-place finish overall, with Lazar Jukic just outside, finishing 12th. Con Porter ultimately withdrew halfway through today's competition, and Simon Mantala tapped out after day one due to a family emergency.
Happy that I have a chance to be here because this is my favorite competition of the year. So thank you everyone for support. I love you.
For the ladies, Corinne Frey showing some dominance this weekend, winning by 120 points. Emily Rolfe returning to the competition floor 4 months to the day after having surgery from her terrifying blood clot at the CrossFit Games this year. So standing on the podium in third was incredibly impressive. Taylor Howe and Valentina Rangel also withdrew. Rangel transferred off of the competition floor to the hospital after those heavy sandbags.
What a show! The 10th anniversary of the Dubai Fitness Championship is now in the books, and it was nothing short of an incredible showdown. Until next time, I'm Lauren Kalil.